Welcome to another episode of the Loadout Music Podcast, featuring in-depth interviews with a wide range of music personalities, from rock and roll Hall of Famers to Grammy winners and today's rising stars. Recorded in St. Louis, Missouri, now here's your host, Aaron Perlett of Atomic Junk Shop. Welcome back to the Loadout Music Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Aaron Perlett. Our guest today was first introduced to America through American Idol back in 2020, but the Louisiana-native is much more than a reality show contestant. He's got gritty vocals and a dynamic style. He's going to promise to make Jovin Webb one of the world's most exciting new blues and roots artists. Jovin joins us today to talk about what's next. Welcome to the show, Jovin. How are you today?
Oh, good. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so, we were talking off air about kind of that, you come from Gonzales, Louisiana, and just that pivot to going from kind of struggling local artist to all of a sudden having the just this microscope that happens when you progress in a show like American Idol. What was that like for you?
It was crazy. Just like you said, to be doing the everyday grind and to auditioning and having my first audition put on the local news here.
Yeah.
I mean, from the initial start, everybody was freaking out just to see me, on TV. And so from that initial audition, I immediately started getting like feedback from people. And so that started the journey to which every different level I went, everyone was tuned in from the jump. So it was nuts. I got to really get to experience what anxiety is and then stuff like that and really get to get in the thick of it and kind of see what it's going to be like. So it was brand new for me, very brand new.
And you were telling me that you weren't big on checking your email back at that time, and
Yes,
you had sent in like an audition, and so you almost missed the callback from them, right?
almost missed it. Like I almost just blew my chance. But I'm a firm believer of things got their timing, and sometimes it's not your right time. And that year, Lane Hardy from Louisiana ended up winning it, so that was really cool. So I got to come the following year and still show love and show the diversity here in Louisiana. So much talent, and I was happy to be a part of that to represent for that.
So what was life like for you before that? Were you, kind of the stereotypical local artist playing local shows, just trying to build a name and a brand and a career? Talk through some of that.
Yeah, before that, I mean, I had just I was in the band Volume Bullets. We were doing that stuff, and I got with Captain Green, which starts to move me up a little bit faster because they're a bigger band and just different quality. So that kind of put me on the map. So it was just yes, it was just building a brand and starting to get around and really get people to hear what I'm doing and just pick up different fans from here and there and just trying to make it happen, trying to make sure people know my name, people know what I'm bringing, and the show did exactly what it was supposed to do, and it shined the biggest, brightest light on that.
Yeah, and we were talking. I lived in New Orleans for about 5 years, so I'm very familiar with kind of like the culture of music in the state of Louisiana. It's a little. I've found it a little different in that the state of Louisiana is kind of almost designed around the idea of this celebration of life. And so, while every state has state fairs and shows and events and clubs and things like that, I think I have found, at least my experience, is that the state of Louisiana is a really unique place to build a music career because you have so many people that are looking for local music on a pretty regular basis, right?
Yes, it's in Louisiana. It's we're taught to be around each other and to gather and to celebrate, and usually that involves whether it's you out with your family somewhere drinking or hanging out, dancing, listening to music, or if you're at a smaller family function and it's music. So music is a huge music and food and gathering is a huge part of this culture, and it's always a want for it. So musicians here in Baton Rouge or just in Louisiana in general, you always have an avenue to find work. And especially in New Orleans, there's music around every corner. So you have an opportunity to really show yourself and to get a job doing it. And the culture is thick. Because there's so many musicians doing it, you have to make sure that what you are doing is specific because everyone's doing it. Like what's going to make your music different. And I think a lot of the competition that is in New Orleans have definitely like, put a fire under my butt and prepared me to really hone in on what I'm doing.
Yeah, I remember my wife and I on weekends we used to like to try to drive, you know, as far as like Breaux Bridge and all over the state, but try to find different kinds of festivals. I remember my favorite one, at least in terms of names, was the Shrimp and Petroleum Festival. Um, in I forget the name of the town, but it was right on the coast. But anyhow, so you go through American Idol, obviously, you didn't win, but you did very well. And all things considered, how many folks go out for that show? I mean, there's a lot to say for that. Uh what happens after that? Like how does that impact your career and the trajectory of it?
it just really blew me up. I mean, like that show, I thank them so much for what they did. And I mean, everyone and their mother watched that show or grandparents or somebody watches it. So like I said, I got to have the light on me from not just from Louisiana no more, but from everywhere. So I mean, it, I was constantly showcased, and Louisiana and my hometown definitely stepped up for me and showed so much love. I mean, I got the key to my city from the mayor of Gonzales like right after that show, and just having my name on the TV that much, it just gave so many other venues idea. It was like, hey, we've been having this guy here the whole time and we didn't even know. So let's get him to come sing for us. Let's get him to come do this and do that. So it opened many doors that I didn't even know I needed to have open.
Yeah, and I mean that brings us to today where you signed on with the label. Um, and when you sign on with the label, all of a sudden you have this support that it used to be. And I remember, I know what this is like as a struggling artist, you're doing everything yourself from social media to content creation to promotion, where you actually have a team that's giving you some semblance of support, and it really helps you start to reach a much broader audience. What is that like for you?
Until recently, we got in this lady Leah Wade. She's been helping with with the bigger stuff, like the European touring, booking and stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, it's a lot because I mean, even in my regular routine, I'm doing this 5, 6, 7 days a week, and it's a lot. It's a lot sometimes just doing all the booking and keeping everything together. So since Idol, my work has like picked up tremendously. So it's just really getting me into the professional side and business side of all of it as well as singing. So at this point, it's just growth
Yeah.
on different avenues.
And do you find because you have this kind of very rootsy, I don't want to say nondescript, but it's very hard to peg down your style because you've got this kind of, um, you've got such a unique vocal character and your music is very roots oriented, whether it's, you know, kind of where country used to be, but it's also very bluesy. There's some folk in there. You find that people have there's trouble. Everybody wants to put somebody in a corner, they want to assign a
Yeah.
label. And have you found that because you've got this kind of hybrid music style and presence that it's almost tough for like a promoter to find like the right kind of venue or event to slot you into?
No, I think that's what has like got me so much success as well because it's just like the album is a blues album, but it has elements of soul, country, and southern rock and roll. So that kind of gave me more avenues to go down. It was like I was speaking about Lane Hardy, and I ended up doing a show with him this early in the beginning of this year. You know, and he does country, and I don't exactly do country, but it's I mean, what I'm doing is so similar that it goes. So we did a show together that I mean we had never planned for this to go a certain way. We just wanted to see if it'll work, and it worked so well, as well as like many of the shows I got to do because what I'm doing is kind of bridging the gap, if you will. Like Blind Pig itself is a predominantly blues, traditional blues based record label, and I think what helps in today is being well versed, is being that I can pull in from a little bit from country, I can pull in a little bit from soul, I can pull a little bit from rock, as well as giving those authentic blues feels. So nobody has to be tied to one type of thing because you might get a little something different on each one. But in the same realm where it goes together.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about just how you build the music you're creating. Are you writing most of the music? Do you have writing partners instrumentally? Do you play instruments or are you more of a vocalist? Help our audience kind of understand like your background and where your core abilities come from.
So I really started writing songs about 2017, 2016-ish. I really got serious about trying to write and, be able to express myself better. And with the album, Jeff from Blind Pig put me in touch with Tom Hambridge, which is such a decorated artist and producer and Grammy winner and nominee. And we just got together and started to write some just organic stuff. I would create stuff from scratch. He brought in songs that he already had that we made, amendments to, as well as songs I already had that we worked on. Now, personally, I have been taking like singing serious like the last 7 to 10 years, like professionally. But I've always been in music my whole life. I mean, I before I knew I had a voice, I started with music with drums. So that's my initial first love is drums. So I play a little drums, I play a little guitar, uh, now a little piano. I took piano in high school as well as just learning on my own. Harmonica, but singing is where I really get to express myself.
So for the most part, when you're playing out, are you surrounding yourself with a band that can really support you and you are focused solely on singing?
Yeah, when all the guys I'm with, hats off to them. They all make my job so easy because I don't have to do much. Just pull up and sing. All these guys are full-time musicians. All these guys are traveling musicians, and they're not just musicians. These guys I have in the band are my actual friends. So it's a really close, a cool thing to do. And we just now put it together so we can project where we got on the album. Because these guys I'm gonna have that I play with, normally, they're gonna be the guys that I'm gonna tour with. This album was recorded in Nashville with some studio artists. So I can't wait to really hear what we're gonna do with it as a band.
Yeah. So when and where can people find your record? And this is going to be your first album, correct?
Yes, yes. First one. First one. You can find the album on the Blind Pig website, the blindpig.com. You can you can download it from Apple Music, iTunes, all that stuff. And as well as anybody that comes to my show around in my area, I'll be selling my CDs and my vinyls at the shows as well. So
So what's next? Is it really just kind of focused on being on the road, working on your craft, promoting the studio
yes,
material, and just kind of growing as an artist?
yes, correct, all the way around. We're just trying to get this music out, travel as much as possible, get it heard, get people to buy it, and soon we'll be working on something different, another album or something. And I want to just tour as much as possible, create as much as possible, network as much as possible, meet other artists and just you know, go along the journey, whatever it comes. I want all of the success. And I hope it brings happiness, love, and wealth for everybody that I'm affiliated with.
And I know you've got a YouTube channel and Instagram. Where's the best place for people to find your touring calendar in case they want to catch you?
So you can check my Facebook and my Instagram. I post like my daily shows on there. But we finally got my website up and running, so I'll be having shows to post on my website as well, the jovinwebb.com. So and yes, and they'll also be able to buy the album because I'm just thinking about this. They'll also be able to buy the album on the website. So that's all coming together. So they'll be able to go straight to the website if they can't find it anywhere else, which should be hard.
Right on. Well, Jovin Webb, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. Obviously you've got a really promising career ahead of you. Thank you so much for being with us today on the Loadout.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Loadout Music Podcast, hosted by Atomic Junkshot frontman Aaron Perlett. Find all of our episodes and more at loadoutmusic.com.